Hey everyone! I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. As always, I'm so grateful that you're listening, subscribing, and commenting. I really appreciate the support. In this video, I wanted to speak to you about INFJs and creating boundaries or, door slamming or whatever you guys want to call it. There's many different ways to create boundaries around yourself in order to protect yourself from toxic energy, toxic people, whatever it might be, right? Now, of course, every one of us has a different definition of toxicity. Different people might have different levels of being able to bear certain levels of toxicity, right? Like certain people are able to bear a lot of toxic people and still be okay. Other people are able to bear barely anything, and then they need to run away. And so obviously there's a spectrum. Some people are very good at bearing a lot of negativity. Some people are terrible at it. And so of course, each person's going to have their own threshold where they're like, all right, I'm done with this. I can't deal with this anymore. I have to run away. Right? So one of the things I wanted to speak to you guys today about boundaries is that we need to be careful about realizing that not only are we allowed to place boundaries on other people, so if someone out there seems toxic to us and we're like, no, yeah, I don't like this person, or I just don't think I can be around this person, I'm gonna walk away, or I'm gonna door slam them, or I'm just gonna stop talking to them. That's okay, of course, you're allowed to do that. But the same thing applies to the person in front of you. They're allowed to door slam you as well. They're allowed to put boundaries around you as well. They're allowed to walk away as well or not talk to you. One of the things I've noticed about INFJs, because a lot of you guys message me with obviously stories and things, one of the things I've noticed about us, and I do this as well, I'm pretty sure, is that we're okay with it when we're putting boundaries on other people, but then when someone does the same thing to us, we freak the hell out. We just freak out and we have no idea what's going on, and we start yelling or shouting and getting angry about at the person, or sending out nasty emails or all of that stuff. And it really is fascinating to me because, as I said, I do this as well. And then nowadays I'm able to step back and say, okay, why is this okay for you to do? Why is it okay for you to put a boundary around a person, against a person, or to put a boundary around you? But if someone else does the same thing to you, if they stop talking to you or if they run away from you because they think you're toxic, then why is this such a big issue for you? Why is this such a big deal to you? Why do you get angry about it? Why do you get emotional about it? Why do you start getting bitter or cynical or all of that stuff about it, right? Why are you frustrated? They're allowed to do the same thing to you. They might have a different threshold. They might look at you in a different manner. They might see you and not see the person that you see yourself. They might have all of these assumptions about you. Whatever it might be, they're allowed to do whatever they want as well, right? And so really, this is something that I want all of you guys to pay attention to as an INFJ. It's really important because, as I said, what we do is that we have these standards for ourselves, and we're like, yeah, no, we have very high standards for ourselves, and we have very high standards for the people around us. Great, good, all right, awesome, that's okay. But when that other person has the same high standards for us, and they're like, you don't actually mesh well with me, and you're not according to my high standards, I'm gonna cut you off, or I'm gonna door slam you, all of a sudden we freak out. And obviously it has to do with our ego and with the fact that we believe that we're better than everyone else. So, like, of course we can door slam other people because they're worse than us or they're lower than us, but they shouldn't be allowed to door slam us because we're higher than them, we're better than them. Of course we're better, we're much more gooder, not a real word, we're nicer, so of course, like, why would they think that about me? And then so we freak out and we start getting angry. And this has happened to me many times because obviously a lot of you are INFJs, I'm guessing, and I think I'm an INFJ, and a lot of people have been messaging me saying, you're not an INFJ, and I'm like, oh, well, I don't know, I seem like one. So anyways, I think I'm an INFJ as well. And so I've noticed that, a lot of times some of you will message me, or a couple of you, and I realize that the energy there is just not right, and you're way too clingy, asking way too many questions, or professing love and wanting to marry me, or things like that, where I'm like, okay, I need to put a boundary here. I need to cut you off. And I do that. I'm like, stop messaging me, or don't message me anymore, etc., etc. And I notice the negativity and the nastiness and the bitterness that comes spilling out of them afterwards in the email format or voice format, whatever it might be. They start just spewing all this bile at me. And I'm like, I'm thinking, and because I've done this in the past too myself, I'm thinking it's an INFJ thing. Now, of course, I don't actually know exactly why every INFJ does this. I know for myself what it is. It's the fact that, I have this ego and I'm like, oh, but I'm awesome. And why would they want to shut me out? And why can't I just get along with everyone? Everyone should love me. Knowing that not everyone's going to love me, knowing that everyone, probably 90% of people are not going to get along with me, maybe 10% will. And so most people are not going to get along with me, and it's okay, and actually it's normal. It's just the way it's supposed to be. Because if too many people are getting along with you, and if you are getting along, or if you're liked by too many people, you're probably catering to them. You're probably pandering to their needs and to their desires. You're not authentically being yourself. I notice that the more authentic I am with myself and in myself, I notice that more and more people get cut off from my life. Viewers, message me saying, I don't think I jive with you anymore. I'm going to stop. I'm going to unsubscribe. Or people in my life, family, friends, relatives, acquaintances, will say the same thing. You've changed a lot. I don't think I want to be friends with you anymore. I don't think I can hang out with you anymore. And so that's normal. That happens when you stop pandering to other people, or stop, building yourself into the image of what the other person wants, and just living your own authentic self, right? Like, that's normal. That's how it works. That's how it happens. And usually what happens is that, we don't kind of go along on a parallel track with everyone else around us. They're going off in this direction, learning different things, doing different things with their life. We're going off in this other direction, learning different things, doing different things with our life. Everyone is going off in all of these billions of different directions, unless you are actually, in a couple relationship, or you're in a relationship where you're kind of trying to merge your lives together and trying to go in the same direction. Even couple relationships, a lot of times, they will go in opposite directions. That's why a lot of relationships fail. Unless you're actually, in that kind of relationship, most people are going into different directions. And eventually, you're going to grow out of each other, or you're going to go so different on such different paths that you're going to be so different from each other that you're not going to be able to relate to each other. And that's just normal, right? Like, that's what life is about. That's why friendships fade. That's why relationships fade. That's what happens. And so it's just a normal thing that happens to everyone. Everyone goes through this, and that's the reason why I wanted to do this video, because I want us to realize that, people are just either outgrowing us, or are not relating to us anymore, or are just not jiving with us anymore. They need to do their own thing, and they're allowed to door slam us. They're allowed to walk away. They're allowed to realize that we're not theirs anymore, or they're not ours anymore. It's okay. It's normal, and there's no point getting angry about it. You don't expect other people to get angry when you door slam them, right? I mean, most people don't. They're like, all right, fine, I guess if you don't want me in my life anymore, then I'm gonna walk away. Hopefully that's how it goes, and that's what I expect most people to do as well. I'm like, I door slammed you, so of course you're not gonna bang your head against a closed door. You're gonna walk away from the closed door and go find some other open door, go find some other friends, some other relationships, right? The same thing applies to us as well. If someone does door slam us, and it will happen to us as well. I mean, it's not that, I'm not saying only INFJs door slam. I think we door slam a lot more than other types. But I'm sure every type has their own way of door slamming. I'm sure every type has their own way of being like, all right, I don't think I want to be friends with this person anymore. Let me just stop talking to them, or let me phase them out of my life, or let me blah, 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 right? I mean, different people do it differently. And so if someone does it to you, don't get nasty about it. Don't get bitter about it. Don't get frustrated about it. Don't get angry about it. Because as you are absolutely allowed to door slam other people, because that is your right and prerogative. Although I've said this before, I don't like door slams anymore because I think they're very immature. I'm still doing them sometimes, and I'm like, oh, what am I doing? I'm not going to do these anymore. But anyways, it just automatically happens sometimes. But in general, as I said, if we're allowed to do it to other people, they should be absolutely allowed to do it back to us. If we have that INFJ instinct of fairness and justice and everything being as equal as possible, then it's the idea that whatever we're allowed to do, other people should be allowed to do to us as well, right? And so, as I said, just be careful in the future. If you do get angry, other people door slamming you, just take a step back and realize, okay, why am I getting angry here? They should be allowed to do this. If they really don't want to be friends with me anymore, they're allowed to not be friends with me anymore, right? Like, there's no rule saying that every INFJ should remain friends with every person they were friends with since the beginning of time, right? No, that is not a rule, right? Let me know your experiences with this. Have you been door slammed in the past and have you gotten angry about it if you're an INFJ? Or if you're not an INFJ and you got door slammed, were you angry about it too? I'd love to hear from both sides because I think it's such a fascinating subject. I don't know if scientists have done research on it. I don't know if it's something that people study, but it is really fascinating to me particularly. If you guys have any questions about this, message me by commenting below and I shall do a follow-up video. But again, share your stories with us because I'd love to hear from all of you. Again, thank you so much for listening and I shall see you guys the next time around.